His predictions about 2020 came true. Here's what he says about 2021. In 2016, he told us to enjoy 2016 because it's as good as it gets for a while. He warned the world of 2020, and everything he predicted so far has come true. Now, with the success of his previous predictions of COVID and pop culture, he's asked to announce what he sees so far for the year 2021. Here's what he says. In 2015, a man named Drew Curtis claimed that he was a time traveler from the year 2020. When he warned everyone about the impending doom 2020 would bring, people laughed in his face, but now, those same people are turning to him for answers for 2021. So who is Drew Curtis? And can we really believe in his predictions? Before Drew Curtis published his predictions, he was known as a devoted husband and father to 3 young children. He was also a successful publisher and writer who founded the news aggregation site, Fark.com, which is now one of the most popular link dump sites on the internet. But now it looks as though he's becoming successful for another reason: fortune telling. After republishing his 2015 prediction earlier this year, as well as another prediction he posted in 2016, when he told the public to enjoy 2016 because it's as good as it gets for a while, Curtis catapulted into headlines. He is now recognized as a prophet by some, but others demanded more proof of the accuracy of his predictions. To which he provided. When asked about the COVID pandemic, Curtis stated that there would be 2 U.S. quarantines, with places closing down again come August-September due to states opening too soon after the initial lockdown. He also stated that things will start to get better in November, which was exactly the time the vaccines started to prove efficient. But that's not all. When questioned in July 2020 about pop culture, as well as the upcoming election in November, Curtis also claimed that Donald Trump would lose the election and that pop boy band group One Direction might get back together again to benefit from the reunion after one of the members comes out of rehab for the first time. All of which incredibly happened. But even still, his skeptics wanted more. It could be argued that much of what Curtis predicted could be calculated by evaluating the state of the US political system, but we know that it could have been anyone's guess when it came down to it. So, some people believe him, others don't. But what everyone's really interested in now is what he sees for 2021. Curtis had always been fascinated with the news. He was especially interested in trying to predict what would happen on the world stage just by staying up to date with current affairs. It was a challenge he liked to set for himself, but one he never thought he was too good at until he remembered his 2016 prediction actually came true. Although predicting future events may seem to be all but impossible, everyone still tries to do it. Gathering information to try to predict the future is surprisingly absolutely necessary, especially for businesses. This is part of the reason Curtis gained so much attention for his predictions. Someone who can accurately predict the future is the holy grail in terms of business. But how did he do it? So, how did Curtis predict the future? Although he first joked about being a time traveler from 2020, he later told reporters how he actually ended up with his conclusion. To predict the future, Curtis analyzed the trends he saw in the news over a long period of time and imagined how it might continue into the future using recurring patterns. But even if that worked for 2020, could it work for 2021? With added confidence from his accurate predictions of 2020, as well as the pressure to make predictions for 2021. Although he claimed to be a time traveler from 2020, he still had some predictions to make for 2021. Here's what he said about it. Curtis announced that things will start looking up in 2021 and that the coronavirus will not be the end of humanity as we know it. His piece of insight comes as a welcome one indeed. But he also gave one other piece of advice: don't give guns to robots, he warned. Although Curtis was joking throughout his predictions, not everyone saw it that way. Many social media users took to their platforms to voice their disbelief. Anyone else freaked out by this? One user wrote while another said, "This is freaking me out about how accurate he is." There seemed to be a general awe at how much of a coincidence his prediction was, which was what attracted his newfound fame. Although conspiracy theorists consider Curtis their savior, he admitted that he isn't a real-time traveler from 2020 and uses his skills of analyzing news forums on the internet to deduce the future. "I run a news aggregation website, and reading everything keeps me a step ahead," Curtis explained. However, his admission wasn't enough to discourage his conspiracy theory fanatics. But what do you think? Can Curtis really tell the future, or is he just well-versed in worldly topics? Would you listen to what he said about 2021? And do you think he's been right about everything so far?